In 2023, federal agents on a routine operation witnessed a glowing orange sphere hovering in the night sky. Within seconds, this central hub launched a series of smaller red balls that moved independently, darting up and down with no detectable propulsion. 2 years later, a senior intelligence official returned to that same location. Their helicopter pursued a similar orb until the craft accelerated 20 miles in an instant, leaving the flight crew unable to track its speed. These accounts are now part of a declassified release of 162 government files. They contain infrared sensor footage of unidentified objects executing 90-degree turns at 80 miles per hour, maneuvers that would tear any conventional aircraft apart. These are not civilian rumors. They are sworn statements from trained federal agents and military personnel. The data describes objects that appear to bypass the basic laws of physics and inertia. This phenomenon isn't restricted to Earth's atmosphere. In 1965, during the Gemini 7 mission, astronaut Frank Borman radioed the Houston ground station to report an unidentified bogey. While mission control suggested it was a discarded booster, Borman confirmed he could see the booster separately from this third unidentified object. 4 years later, Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin reported seeing mysterious light flashes inside the cabin and a massive, sparkling light source on the moon's surface that appeared as focused as a laser. Plotting these sightings geographically reveals a specific trend. It begins with the historical records from 1947 in New Mexico, followed by clusters in Germany and along the Soviet border. Modern declassified files add thousands of new coordinates to this map, showing massive surges across Iraq, Syria, and Japan over the last several decades. If these are random visits from another world, the choice of destination is remarkably consistent. A pattern emerges from these coordinates, one that points away from deep space and toward a specific earthly reality. These sightings are not distributed evenly across the globe. They are concentrated in specific hotspots, often thousands of miles apart, but linked by a shared characteristic. When we overlay a map of U.S. military conflict zones and strategic bases, the correlation is absolute. Every major cluster of UFO sightings sits directly on top of active American military operations. In regions like the Strait of Hormuz and Iraq, the U.S. has deployed its most sophisticated monitoring and surveillance systems. These areas are the most heavily watched places on the planet. The data suggests these objects aren't visiting humanity at large. They are appearing exclusively where the U.S. military is most active. The playbook for this overlap was written in 1947. Private pilot Kenneth Arnold reported 9 objects flying over Washington's Mount Rainier at 1,200 miles per hour, twice the speed of any aircraft known at the time. Arnold described them as skipping like saucers across water. Newspapers took the description of their movement and turned it into a description of their shape, coining the term flying saucers just weeks before a mysterious crash in Roswell, New Mexico. By 1952, objects were being tracked on radar over Washington, D.C., leading to national panic and front-page headlines about saucers swarming the Capitol. Decades later, the Air Force admitted the Roswell debris belonged to Project Mogul, a classified program using high-altitude balloons to detect Soviet nuclear tests. The government allowed the world to believe in aliens rather than admit they were conducting espionage. This created a permanent cover for testing black-budget technology. The alien narrative became a strategic asset, providing a perfect disguise for advanced aircraft testing. If a civilian saw something impossible in the sky, they would blame the cosmos instead of the military. Applying this logic to modern files reveals a similar pattern. The orange motherships launching smaller orbs match the profile of drone carrier technology currently being developed by foreign militaries. A football-shaped object spotted over Japan in 2024 shares the exact characteristics of high-altitude surveillance balloons used for international spying. Even the flashes seen during the Apollo missions have documented explanations. NASA records suggest they were reflections of the sun off metallic equipment, or high-energy atomic particles interacting with the astronauts' eyes in the vacuum of space. When viewed through the lens of modern defense and natural physics, these impossible cases appear as symptoms of human espionage and atmospheric science. In 2022, the Defense Department created the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office to investigate every UFO claim from 1945 to the present day. Their 2024 report found zero evidence of extraterrestrial technology or any secret government programs tasked with reverse engineering alien crafts. The vast majority of sightings were identified as ordinary objects: drones, weather balloons, spy planes, satellites, or planets. Defense officials have warned that releasing these files without context only fuels speculation. Transparency is absent, and in that void, conspiracy theories are allowed to thrive. The mystery is a product of information management. By withholding the analytical context, the government ensures the public remains focused on the unknown. This raises a final question. If the government knows these aren't aliens, why release 162 unexplained files to the public now? Historically, governments have used unsolved mysteries to dominate the news cycle and drown out domestic failures or administrative scandals. In the same window these files were published, investigators were also unsealing thousands of documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Promoting a cosmic mystery allows a government to occupy the public's attention, while more damaging, earthly records are quietly moved into the light. The fascination with the cosmos provides a perfect veil. Governments have learned that the most effective way to hide their actions on Earth is to keep the world looking at the stars.